Should I see a doctor about this? So I'm a huge fan of a YouTube channel from a guy called Will McDaniel. His videos are basically these comedy sketches, but they're all heavily based around these physical props that he makes. And his style is this weird kind of surreal, gross out vibe. The whole time you're watching, you're laughing because the sketches are hilarious, but also you kind of feel sick. And I'm all about that. I actually got in contact with Will and said, hey, love your videos, love the weird, gross things you make. I have a YouTube channel where I make props too, mostly weapons though. Would you consider designing a weapon for me to make? He said he'd love to do that, and he designed me this. It is the meat, yeah, it's, straight away you're like, okay, yuck. Which is exactly what I wanted. A little while ago, I made a plumbus for a plumbus sledgehammer that I did in another video. It's the only time I really got a chance to work on something and make it look organic. Mostly my stuff is like metal and weathered wood and stuff like that. I really liked it though, and I'm gonna try and use some of the plumbus methods on this meat glove gauntlet. Ugh. Anyway, let's go. So basically I've got a normal pair of gardening gloves. I use contact cement to add some irregular looking shapes out of craft foam. Then from a slightly thicker EVA foam, I cut these tiny little donut things and contact cemented them onto the fingertips to start making the suckers. I added quite a thick piece of EVA around the wrist part just to give it some form and shape there. I wasn't really that careful applying any of the contact cement or anything like that, because if it came out from the seams, it would just kind of look blobby and add to the organic feel that I'm going for anyway. I also cemented on some bigger EVA foam rings for the mouth that will go on the palm. Basically at this point I look like someone who was gardening and accidentally fell into a bowl of Cheerios. At this point I used a Dremel with a sanding drum to kind of shape out the pieces a little bit better and smooth them down onto the glove, kind of make it look like one cohesive piece. I also added PVA glue quite thick and let it dry in those blobs and glunks again to make it look like some boiled skin. You can do this thing with wood glue where if you apply a heat gun for too long, it actually starts to bubble up and form these weird bulbous looking pus-filled bubbles. You can do it, it's disgusting, but you can do it. You like the hand? You like it? It's beautiful. And then I had to work out how to do the little tendrils that attach to the arm that you can see in the original sketch. In the end, what I went with was a piece of coat hanger that I cut off. This was great because it was light enough to kind of stick on the glove without pulling it down, but also I can unwind it, put the glove on, and then kind of wind it back to make it look like it's really bonded to my wrist. I used wood glue to attach a bunch of string to it to make it look a little bit more disgusting and not just like coat hanger that was going to be painted pink. Then it was time for the painting. Nothing too exciting with the painting, just a lot of different layers of acrylic. I used some skin tones to begin with, then dry brushed on a lot of deeper pinks and deeper reds. I used much darker reds inside the little suckery things and the mouth to make them look, I don't know, like holes, like orifices. I didn't want to use that word. Then it was time for the teeth. Now I actually used a bunch of these little nut things that fell off some palm trees in my garden. I wanted the teeth to all be different. I wanted them to have irregular yet natural shapes, and I thought the best way to do that was use irregular and natural materials. I just used wood glue to stick them on roughly in the shape of an alien mouth. I painted those teeth white with a little tinge of yellow. I also added a lot of PVA glue just for look. When the PVA glue dries, it dries clear. It kind of absorbs a little bit of the color that it was put onto though, so it gives the thing a whole kind of glossy wet look. Anyway, that's basically finished. Now it's time for the reveal of my gauntlet of meat. Anyway, I hope you liked the building of the Meat Gauntlet. It really reminded me of this game called Prototype, which was on Xbox 360. Some of you may have played it. It was about this soldier who had this alien parasite, I think, attached to him. And it kind of worked in the same way as the Meat Gauntlet. It enabled him to make these bio weapons come out of him, like swords and claws and stuff. It was a free roam game. It reminded me a lot of Spider-Man 2, except in this you were a weird alien. It was very, very gory and disgusting. Lots of tendrils. The whole time I was building the Meat Gauntlet, I was thinking about that game. Kind of want to make something something from that game maybe in the future. The sword arm thing maybe. Also, if you really like the Meat Gauntlet, I'm probably gonna give it away to someone in the comments. I got no rules exactly, just leave some kind of comment that I think might be funny, I guess. Mostly I have to get rid of it because my girlfriend has actually banned it from entering the house. She's grossed out by it. So I really can't keep it. Make sure to do all the other things that YouTubers usually ask you to do. Twitter, subscribe, all of that. Thank you. Will, if you're watching, thanks for sending me a picture of a Meat Gauntlet, and keep up the gross stuff you do. Bye.